In this video, I'm going to be discussing the relationship between subjective-objective assessment in regards to our various psychological processing. And when we perceive something in the environment, or we're processing something in terms of its potential effect on us as individuals, whether or not we should say engage in a particular set of behaviors, or whether or not we should go touch an object or consume something in particular based off various aspects of it, maybe its color, its smell, its taste, prior experiences. And when we're thinking about this and we're making evaluations, there's two aspects to that. There's a subjective end and an objective end to that continuum and that attribution and association. And that is part of value appraisal, as well as a system of meaning that's associated and really links both of these fundamental types of meaning, perceptual as well as empirical meaning, that allow us to even form these synthetic forms of meaning and to start to complexify the world, but also process complexity more efficiently in ways that are beneficial to us as individuals, supporting our future well-being or survival. Allows us to optimize our present perceptions and experiences as well by orienting towards assessments of what's positive or what we enjoy, what we like, which supports our subjective well-being. And when we view anything, we are almost always perceiving some degree of meaning, and with it, a level of significance that's embedded in that meaning, but also valence. It can be positive or negative, or neutral too. There are in different aspects to that. And there's this tendency to dismiss that because this is primarily psychological and has a subjective element, that there are objective aspects to, say, the stimuli or the direct content of that experience. That really are occurring and that do convey information components that have an objective basis, but it's mixed in with subjective elements. And this is largely what defines it as having the psychological characteristic. And so when it comes to making attributions or assessments, they're fundamentally psychological, and they're fundamentally predicated on meaning and value appraisal and understanding the meaning and value, as well as level of significance that are associated with various aspects of the self and surroundings that we're processing within a psychological framework. And this is essential to understanding well-being, because pretty much all psychological evaluations pertain to some form of measure of well-being or understanding in terms of what is optimal and what is potentially harmful, as well as connoting even in different aspects and just defining them and giving them a meaning that can maybe not in this instant, but in a subsequent moment be useful or valuable. And so information at a basic level itself involves these attributions and assessments that convey meaning, which can increase or decrease in our value appraisals of them, and at which times can also have more of a neutral value appraisal. But it's really the circumstance that we actually truly ever operate within a more of a purely neutral praxis. And it's more the case that we tend to operate on the psychological plane, in which there's a combination of both this subjective objective and a constant interpretation of what's positive or negative in relation to supporting the self and sustaining the self, and ultimately well-being. So that's all I wanted to say for this video. I hope you enjoy it. Bye.